The Buffalo Bills are preparing to host the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday at home in Orchard Park. After plenty of big battles in recent years, we're going to talk about why this is such a measuring stick game for the Bills and what it could mean for the rest of their season going forward. What's up, everybody? It is Jon Helmkamp with A to Z Buffalo. In this video, we're going to talk about the upcoming game with the Kansas City Chiefs and why it is so crucial to how the season plays out from here on out. First and foremost, let's talk about what led up to this game. We know that the Bills are 8-2. We know that the Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated at 9-0. Buffalo almost got the benefit of a second huge win on Sunday with the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Denver Broncos. Kansas City was able to block a literal last second with 1 second left on the clock field goal to steal a victory away from the Denver Broncos and remain undefeated. If they had lost that game, this week's battle with the Chiefs would have much more ramifications on the potential #1 overall seed in the AFC, as both teams are heading towards the inevitability of them being in the playoffs at this point. Buffalo is running away with their division. Kansas City is undefeated. It's bound to happen that we're going to see both of these teams in the playoffs at this point. But this week's matchup with the Chiefs is huge for how the rest of the season plays out. So far, the Buffalo Bills have only played 3 teams that currently have a winning record. And in 2 of those 3 games, against Baltimore and against Houston, those were arguably the 2 worst performances that the Bills have had this year. So playing against Kansas City gives them an opportunity to show up against the best opponent in the league. After that game, the Bills go on their bye week. Following that, there's going to be a matchup with the San Francisco 49ers, and 2 weeks after that with the Detroit Lions. So all of a sudden, the Kansas City Chiefs are a launchpad game into a very difficult second half of the season that's going to have a huge impact on what the Bills look like and what we learn about them as they try to head towards the playoffs. Secondly, let's talk a little bit about the big brother, which is Kansas City. We know that they have knocked the Bills out of the playoffs in 3 of the last 4 seasons. But is that Josh Allen's fault? Looking at his stats, he shows up against Kansas City each and every time. He has a 3-1 record against them in the regular season, but obviously we know that he hasn't been able to get past them in the playoffs. His stats, though, he averages over 257 passing yards and over 56 rushing yards per game against the Kansas City Chiefs, has thrown 16 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions while adding a few rushing touchdowns onto that list as well. He shows up in these meetings. And for the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs are the team that they are going to have to get by. Now, we know that Josh Allen has this past success against them in the regular season, but hasn't been able to get the win, to get past them when it matters most in the playoffs. And the way that this season is shaping up, there's a good possibility that once again, we could see these 2 teams meet in the playoffs, potentially in the divisional round, potentially in the AFC Championship game. And one of those 2 teams could be the representative of the AFC going towards the Super Bowl if we were to get to that point. The Kansas City Chiefs, for better or worse, are going to be the hurdle that the Bills have to get over in order to win the big game, in order to win the Super Bowl that they've long been searching for. Just like Patrick Ewing couldn't get past Michael Jordan in his prime in the Eastern Conference, that's what it looks like right now with Josh Allen, unfortunately existing at the same time as arguably the best quarterback to ever play the game, and that quarterback happens to be in the same conference as him. Can Josh Allen and the Bills get some redemption, get some momentum going with a win over the Kansas City Chiefs? And then, more importantly, are they going to be able to get past the Chiefs in the playoffs when it matters the most? Those are the big questions coming down the second half of the season. Please let me know your thoughts on the upcoming matchup with the Chiefs in the comments down below. I will catch you guys next time.